So now let's move on to the second one past many histories, which is the Cavite Mutiny or ang pag-aalis sa Cavite. So before we dig deeper about what is Cavite Mutiny, we should know what happened during the year 1872, which is a very significant year for our country because there will never be an 1896 revolution without the Cavite Mutiny that occurred at this moment, at this time. So, there are two major events that had happened in the year 1872. First is the Cavite Mutiny, and next is the martyrdom of the three priests in persons of Mariano Gomez, Jose Burgos, and Jacinto Zamora, famously known as Gumburza. So in this year, they were nahatulan sila ng kamatayan, and this is where they were executed and was and the young Jose Rizal was there to witness their execution into writing the two famous novels, which is Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo. So, as we said, as I said earlier, this is one past many histories because there are two versions of the Cavite Mutiny. First is the Spanish version, written by Jose Montero y Vidal, and the Filipino version, which is written by Dr. Trinidad Hermenegildo Padro de Travera. So, before we discuss, dig deeper about the Filipino version, we should know what is the Spanish version first. So, before we dig deeper to the accounts of the Spanish version of the Cavite Mutiny, let us first know what is a mutiny. So, a mutiny is a rebellion against authority, which came from the word mutine, which means revolt. So, mutiny is an act of rebellion. So, now let us dig deeper to what the Spanish version is all about. The Spanish version, which is written by Jose Montero y Vidal, a prolific Spanish historian, documented the event and highlighted that it is an attempt of the Indios to overthrow the Spanish government in the Philippines. So, um, General Rafael Izquierdo and the prolific historian Jose Montero y Vidal viewed this mutiny as some kind of a revolt na na attempt ng mga Indio para baliwalain or to finish the Spanish government in the Philippines. So it is the start of a they think that it would start a bigger revolution at that time. So General Rafael Izquierdo's official report to the King of Spain magnified the event and made use of it as a implication to a native clergy, which is a active in call of secularization. Ang secularization is ang magkaroon ng magandang katungkulan ang mga native na pari, which the Spanish priests disliked at the time. So the following is the causes of mutiny or ang mga rason kung bakit nangyari ang pag-aalsa sa Cavite. Unang rason is the removal of privileges for the arsenal workers, which is the exemption from tribute or polo service. It is one of the primary source kung bakit nangyari ang mutiny sa Cavite. So, ano ba ang arsenal? So, ang arsenal is ang imbakan ng mga armas na noon ay pag-aari ng mga Espanyol. So, una, kinuha nila ang pribilehiyo ng mga ng mga nagtatrabaho sa arsenal, kung saan the exception or tribute or in our time is taxes. So at that time, the Filipino workers in the arsenal are exempted to pay the tribute and the polo service. The external influence. So, the Spanish Revolution and the anti-friar sentiment contributed to the unrest. The propaganda that spread of democratic ideas through books and pamphlets played a role. So, to the Filipino press, so dito na um, kinonekta ng mga Spanish ang Cavite Mutiny sa tatlong pare, which is the Gomburza priest, Father Gomez, Father Burgos, and Father Zamora. So, dahil dito, sa Cavite Mutiny, sila they were executed at the time because of the Cavite Mutiny. So, they were accused to be part or to be the mastermind of the mutiny. So, General Escudero's accusations towards the Gumburza priest, where he claimed that the priest incited the natives, promising victory for reward for joining the revolution. So, he stated there that the priests are the masterminds of the mutiny that occurred in Cavite. The goal of a new king, Escudero, allegedly, the rebels aimed to establish a new king, specifically Father Burgos and Father Zamora. So the Cavite Mutiny course, so in January 20, 1872, the district of Sampaloc celebrated the feast of the Virgin Loreto, and this come with fireworks, which is misinterpreted by the Caviteños as a signal to revolt or to start the revolution and attack the officials. So the Spanish response to this is General Esquerdo, upon learning the attack, ordered reinforcement of the Spanish forces in Cavite to quell the revolution. So with this, na-stop sila. And because of this, the revolution was easily crushed because the Manileños, or the people from Manila who were expected to aid the Caviteños, did not arrive. So the backup of the Caviteños from Manila did not arrive during the mutiny. So that's why the mutiny was stopped right there. So hindi siya naging malaking revolusyon at the time. So the consequences of this mutiny is the execution and imprisonment of leaders such as Sergeant Lamadrid, which is he was killed, and also a very significant event that happened is the Gomburza was executed, and some lawyers like the Treveno, which is the author of the Filipino version of the Cavite Mutiny, was imprisoned in the Marinas Island. Now let us move on to the Filipino version of the Cavite Mutiny, written by Trinidad Pardo de Travera. Trinidad Pardo de Travera is a Filipino scholar and a researcher who wrote the Filipino version of the Cavite Mutiny. So, in Travera's account, the Cavite Mutiny is merely an mutiny by Filipino soldiers and laborers of the Cavite arsenal to the dissatisfaction arising from the draconian policies of General Esquerdo, which is the abolition of privilege and the funding of the school arts and trades. So, in Travera's account, Izquierdo attributed to the mutiny because of the policies that he ordered, specifically the removal of the privileges among the soldiers, Filipino soldiers and Filipino workers of the arsenal, and prohibited the Filipinos for the arts and trade school. So this led to the events on the 20th day of January 1872, which Sergeant Lamadrid's uprising to which Travera describes as a mutiny, as a small-scale rebellion by 200 men led by Sergeant Lamadrid, who killed Spanish officials. So he led the mutiny, Sergeant Lamadrid. So the lack of support, it encouraged expectations of reinforcement, but did not receive, contributing to the failure of the mutiny. So, just like in the Spanish version, Izquierdo sent troops quickly subduing the uprising within 2 days. So, it did not really arise to become a revolution. It's just a simply mutiny from the Caviteños towards the government of the Spanish. So it's not really that big at that time, because the reinforcement from Manila did not come, and Izquierdo was quick to respond with the uprising of the mutiny. So it did not really became a bigger revolution or a bigger mutiny at the time. So Travera's accusations toward Izquierdo is that Izquierdo manipulates. He believed that Izquierdo used the mutiny as an opportunity to portray a wider conspiracy involving the Manila and Cavite residents, including the Filipino priests, Father Mariano Gomez, Father Burgos, and Father Zamora, which undermined the Spanish rule. So he manipulated the people in to believe that the Gomburza priests are the masterminds of the Cavite mutiny, and the reason why the Cavite mutiny happened because they are conspiring a revolution towards undermining the Spanish rules. So now let us move on to Edmond Placheux accounts of the Cavite. He supports Travera's interpretation and offers objective perspective. So Placheux's account is he he attributes the mutiny to the discount of arsenal workers and soldiers caused by Izquierdo's order in imposing taxes and forced labor on them. So, reversing the previous exemptions. So, he highlighted that the what fueled the mutiny is that Izquierdo's order to impose taxes towards the arsenal workers, which before is that they were exempted to pay. And what triggered the event is that the workers' anger erupted when they discovered the deduction for taxes and forced labor from their paychecks on January 20, 1872. The mutineers, including the 40 infantry and 20 artillery soldiers, seized to control the Fort San Felipe, which is the arsenal, firing cannons to celebrate their victory. So they celebrated their victory of stopping the Cavite Mutiny. The lack of support and defeat. So expected reinforcements did not came. The mutineers hoped for support for their comrades in the 7th Infantry Company, but they were instead attacked. So the Caviteños expected reinforcement from the Manileños, which did not happen. So instead, they were attacked by the Izquierdos people. So the mutineers barricaded themselves in the fort, expecting support from Manila, but their hopes were dashed because the Manileños did not came to support them. And because of this, the execution of the priest occurred. Witness to Gomborza's fate, Plaschutz personally witnessed the execution of Father Gomez Burgos and Father Zamora, adding to the progient of his account. So, because of the Cavite Mutiny, the Gomborza fathers were accused of being masterminds towards having a revolution towards the government of Spanish. And because of this execution that was witnessed also by our Philippine hero Jose Rizal, this execution inspired him to write the two novels Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo. That's why the events of 1872 is very crucial, especially the Cavite Mutiny, because this is what started the Philippine Revolution. So our independence can be traced by starting from the Cavite Mutiny to the defeat of Gomborza, which they were executed, to Rizal's novels, and to the Philippine Revolution. So we can say that Cavite Mutiny really played a crucial role for our freedom at the moment.